What's good, guys? Welcome back to the 21st episode of the Miami Dolphins franchise. Please go and check out the last episode. It was the Super Bowl. So if you want to find out what happened there, please go check that out. Before you watch this video, it will be spoiled once you see the gameplay. So please go and check that out first. I beg you, it's one of the best Madden games I've ever played of all time. Please go and check out last video. I promise it's worth the whole 55 minutes. Please go check out that video. I promise it's worth your time. It's worth your time to see it. So please go check out the Super Bowl episode. Episode 20 is yesterday's video. Please go watch it. Also, if you want to see how we got to the Super Bowl and how we got here, and you want to check out the whole series, click on my channel, click on playlist, and you can see the whole series there, or it will be in a card above me. But seriously, please go check out specifically last video, the Super Bowl video. I think it's one of the best videos I've ever made, and I think it's definitely worth your time. So with that being said, I'm going to let you go do that. I'm about to switch to the gameplay, so if you don't want to see the game spoiled, please go check that out right now. For the people who already have watched it, we're on to the game. And this is where we are. I don't know how much I'm going to do in today's episode. It might be very short, just because I do want to push everything towards that Super Bowl video, because I think it's one of the best videos I've made of all time. So please go watch that. But with this in mind, I do want to get through this week and the re-sign players week. I have no idea if we'll even do free agency. Maybe we'll make a trade or something. I have no idea, just because I do want to keep pushing everything towards that Super Bowl video, just because I think it's worth it. It's worth pushing that. It's worth having a shorter episode today to have more people watch the Super Bowl video, because I think it's fantastic. Now, with that being said, we do have a couple things to look at. We have weekly awards, which obviously is us and the Packers, Aaron Rodgers and Tyreek Hill. And then it is Preston Smith and Xavier Howard for the defense. Obviously, we're guaranteed to have two because it's the Super Bowl. We have a couple upgrades after the year. As is there anyone I want to do myself? I do have a few that I want to do myself. So these guys are all fine. They can upgrade whatever they want here. So I'll auto upgrade those guys. Jerome Baker, we're going to do pass coverage again. He really struggled in pass coverage, so I think it's important that we make him better in pass coverage. So that's awesome to do that. Jalen Phillips, we want to keep him versatile, but we also want him to keep getting better at what he's doing. So I actually do speed rusher, just because it makes him a better overall player. +1 change of direction, +2 finesse moves, and he even gets +1 in both coverage grades. That's awesome to see. We'll leave Tua for last. Connor Williams, we're going to keep doing agile, keep him as that scheme fit. I want him to be a little bit better at moving around the field, so that's good for him to do agile, because I think he sometimes struggles to pull when he has to go around the center, so that's why we're doing that. And then Javon Holland has another upgrade. He was incredible. He actually struggled a little bit in the Super Bowl, but he was just so incredible for the whole year. And we'll keep on doing zone just to keep him as a scheme fit, as he has +2 awareness and +2 tackle. That's awesome. And for Tua Tagovailoa, you already know what we're doing. Give me that throw power, baby. Please give me that throw power. Please give me that throw power. He gets +2 awareness and +1 throw accuracy mid, so he keeps being accurate. What's his throw accuracy mid now? It's actually a 91 without the boost, because it feels like with every upgrade he gets, it has to do with accuracy, so he's just going to become more and more accurate, and we'll auto upgrade the rest of these guys. So 16 players were upgraded. And now I think that's it for this week, so we can actually move to the next week. Stat move wise, I will show you who got fired, as Joe Judge gets fired. Oh my god, Sean McVay gets fired after a horrible season with the Rams. It took one bad year, and now Sean McVay is out as head coach. That is ridiculous, to be honest. I wish, like in 2K, you can override this, but Sean McVay is going to be a free agent head coach. That is crazy. Anyone else of interest? Ron Rivera gets fired, and Sean McVay is going to Washington. The Washington football team hires Sean McVay. The Bears fire Matt Nagy, so that's actually kind of realistic. So that is pretty much it, but that is very interesting. Sean McVay to the Washington football team. Very interesting for that. Let's simulate to next week, and let's see if we have the money to even re-sign some of these guys who I was thinking about re-signing. This is where it becomes decision time. So let's see what we have, as we also have a mock draft, which we will check out. Let's see where we have, as the Lions are mocked to pick a Bryce Young. As let's see who we could go. So Bijan Robinson's all the way up at 7. So if we want to get Bijan Robinson, we're going to have to trade up for sure, because our first pick isn't until all the way down to 28, where it has us taking a halfback in Tank Bigsby, and then has us taking a cornerback in Joey Porter. And I think that's very interesting that they have us taking a corner, maybe to replace Byron Jones, who might be moved in this episode. Let's check out who retired, if it's anyone from the Dolphins as well, as I'll give you a look. Just trying to see if there's any Dolphins. Some interesting names, though. Devin McCourty's gone. He was awesome. Dwayne Brown retires. The Colts trade all of that for Matt Ryan, and he retires. Alex Mack retires. Jason Kelsey retires. Brandon Graham retires. Anyone else? Jared Cook retires. Calais Campbell. A pretty big retirement. Kareem Jackson. Antonio Brown, a pretty big kind of retirement season. Jason Peters retires. A bunch of very, very notable names in this retirement phase. Jason McCourty retires in the same year as his brother. I think that's very fitting. Ben Roethlisberger, Emmanuel Sanders, Eric Weddle, Larry Fitzgerald, one of the best receivers of all time. He's up there for sure. He retires after 18 years. Adrian Peterson finally retires. Yeah, this is a crazy retirement class. Josh Norman, Danny Amendola, Frank Gore, Geno Atkins, Golden Tate retires after 12 years. Brandon Carr, Gerald McCoy retires, Ryan Khalil, Drew Stanton, Ted Larson, and Cameron Wake, the Miami Dolphins superstar, retires. So we do have one technically, as Cameron Wake does retire. He is a Dolphins legend, but this is a crazy retirement class, especially with Cameron Wake. This is a wild retirement class, so that's very interesting. So you guys see that. So a bunch of notable players do actually retire. And now we have 13 players to try and bring back. The biggest of the few was probably Sony Michel. That's too much for a third running back. We can get somebody in the draft or somebody in free agency. I'm sorry, that's too much. Especially given the money that we just gave to Raheem Mostert. We cannot bring back Sony Michel, so that is unfortunate. He will be gone after winning his second or third Super Bowl. Melvin Ingram, he's just too old. I'm not giving him $5 million for an entire year. We might bring him back in free agency. Same thing with Sony Michel, but not here. Same thing with Andrew Van Ginkel. Man, this is way too much money. Actually, never mind. His offer has actually come down a lot. He only wants about $5 million, so never mind. I was going to say this is too much, but his offer has come down, assuming because we won the Super Bowl. So 32.8. Let's see if we bring the salary down and bring the money up a little bit. 32.8. Let's see if he accepts this deal. Andrew Van Ginkel is testing out free agency, which I expected. We will try to bring we'll try and bring all three of these guys back in free agency for sure. Just because we do want to replace these guys, or just bring them back just because obviously we won the Super Bowl, so that was incredible. Not going to franchise tag him. Adam Butler, we want to bring him back. That's just too much money. We don't have that much cap space, and that's just a little bit too much money for Adam Butler. Teddy Bridgewater isn't coming back. Morstead isn't coming back. Sherfield, Scarlett, River Craycraft, Duke Riley. Atlanta Roberts would be really interesting, but I think I'd rather try in free agency to get him for a lower price. I'll try one more time here. 2.26, 12.8. I'll try one more time to bring Atlanta Roberts back. He wins his third Super Bowl, with the Miami Dolphins. As I'll offer him that. Let's see if he accepts. He wants to play for a new team, which makes sense. He didn't get that much playing time because Channing Tindall took his place. I would actually give money to River Craycraft, but that's just too much for a returner, especially considering I could get him back in free agency as well. But he was a great returner for us. He actually saved one of our games. Salvin Ahmed is a young, good player, but that's just a lot of money for a fourth or fifth running back. So I think I'm pretty much done there with the re-signing. We didn't really re-sign anybody, to be honest, but that is okay. We will try and get some of those guys back in free agency next week. With that being said, we'll just simulate to next week, guys. That will be that for the extension. Let's see how many free agents we have. We only have $6 million in cap space, but that will change after we cut a few people. As Derwin James is in free agency, Lamar Jackson is in free agency, Tom Brady is in free agency, Jeffrey Simmons is in free agency, Kareem Hunt. This is a crazy stacked free agency. Wow. As Christian Wilkins is here, I'll fix that. I have no idea why he is here. I will make sure to fix that because I'll get him back on the team. So no worries there with Christian Wilkins by next episode. Once he will sign with the Texans, and then I will bring him back. So that's something I will definitely do. No worries there, as that's just a glitch with the game. But wow, this is a crazy loaded free agency, and unfortunately we don't have that much money, but that is because we haven't started cutting people either. So I will go check and see if there's anyone I want to cut or trade, but again, I need to make sure that I remember to bring back Christian Wilkins. Quarterback wise, I am okay with this, as we do have Tua Tagovailoa and Skylar Thompson. Halfback wise, there's no one I think I want to cut per se. Myles Gaskin is fine as a third running back. If I do want to save the $700K, I can do that for sure. Obviously, with Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert, we won't be cutting them. Alec Ingold will stay on the team. Wide receiver wise, obviously we're not cutting anybody. That just doesn't make sense, as our receivers are pretty much filled out going into next year. Tight end wise, we do have Blake Ferguson still on the practice squad, as we have Hunter Long, Durham Smith, Mike Gesicki. Those are what I project to have my tight ends going forward. Left tackle wise, I do think this is fine. Obviously, Liam Eichenberg doesn't make sense to cut yet. Connor Williams, obviously, we're not cutting. JC Treader, we just re-signed. Michael Dieter, we're not cutting, as we just extended him to be a backup. Obviously, Robert Hunt, we won't be cutting. Robert Jones is interesting. He's 23, he's 84, and he doesn't even fit the scheme. So that's a very interesting. I might actually cut him, but he is practice squad eligible, so I might as well just keep him to put him on the practice squad. Austin Jackson, we will not cut just because it doesn't make sense. And at this point, he is our starting right tackle. Same thing with Kellen Deach, same type of deal there. Ogba, of course, we're not cutting. Same thing with Zach Sealer. As again, I'll make sure to bring back Christian Wilkins. Raekwon Davis does not need to be cut. Same thing with Jordan Williams. Left outside linebacker, we don't have anybody. Middle linebacker wise, obviously we are okay with all of these guys. Sam Agawam is only making $1 million, so that's fine with me. Outside linebacker, obviously we're not cutting anybody there. Is there anyone I want to cut here? As Byron Jones, I actually get a penalty for that. I want to make sure that's correct because I feel like that's not correct, because I feel like he should have more of a savings if we were to cut Byron Jones. I'll look that up right now. Byron Jones contract, because I feel like next year, how many years does he have? Because I believe we restructured it, so I just want to make sure that I have that right, because it does seem like that's wrong. As never mind, that is right. So yeah, we would have that much dead cap, so never mind. Byron Jones will be staying on the team because that's too much of a hit to the savings versus the penalty. Nick Needham, we just extended, and most of the cornerbacks are pretty much safe here, as they are just either young or we just can't cut them. Like Abe Ganogany, we can't cut yet. It just costs us money to cut him, which makes no sense to do that. Love our safety depth, as that is fine with me. And then kicker and punter wise, we need to draft a punter, but kicker wise, obviously, Jason Sanders will be staying on the team. And now I believe that's pretty much it, because there is nobody really to cut. So I guess the only thing we'll be doing really in free agency is just bringing back Christian Wilkins, because we don't have any money. If there's anybody with depth, like if there's any depth signings, I'll try and make it, but there is a bunch of guys who we need to bring back. And honestly, actually, I don't have any money left because we have $5.9 million in cap room, and that Christian Wilkins contract will take us over the top. So there is nothing I can do in free agency really. So we do kind of have our team kind of just set based on the money, based on the contracts. I guess that's why a bunch of teams had to cut bait with their players, because obviously their contracts are so big, and in this game you can't really restructure. So we already have 50 players, so in free agency we're not doing anything, so we will just advance the week. Hopefully Christian Wilkins signs with the Texans so I can just go and put him back on our team, because that is of course what needs to happen. As Brandon Jones is obviously back, we have some pro day results for the college players, as let's see what people have. Is we do have a little bit more of a completion for that, which is cool to see. Honestly, still not worrying about the draft just yet. That will be all of next episode pretty much, so that is fine with me. Let me go and make sure that Christian Wilkins did sign and bring him back onto the Miami Dolphins, because that is what should be happening. Derwin James goes to the Texans. Jeffrey Simmons goes to the Eagles, so they replace Brandon Graham really quick. Kareem Hunt to the Falcons. Rodney Hudson to the Bears. Josh Allen to the Texans. Christian Wilkins will come back onto our team. Jermaine Edmonds to the Seahawks. Jack Fox to the Eagles. Chris Lindstrom to the Patriots. C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Patriots. Ed Oliver to the Falcons. So it seems like the Falcons, Eagles, and Patriots are spending a bunch of money. Texans, Bears. All these teams with a bunch of cap space are signing a bunch of these players. But let me go back and get Christian Wilkins on the team. And I will be right back once I have done that. Okay, guys, so we are back onto the game. As you can see, we have negative 4.76 in cap space now, due to Wilkins being back on the team as he should. As you see, I have his exact contract per over the cap in the game, $10.8 million, all of base salary, no bonus or guaranteed money, as that is the fifth-year option for him. And we have no cap space, so we will be basically headed right to the draft in the next episode, but I do want to see where some other players go, as we do have a bunch of picks. Let me show you that as we do head into the next episode, which will be the draft. We do have a bunch of picks here, as we have one from San Francisco, one that's ours. We have a second rounder, we have an extra third rounder from New England, so we have 5 picks in the top 3 rounds. So that is what we're going to do. We did have a 7th round pick, but that's what I traded to get Christian Wilkins back on the team. It's whatever. I'm not really worried about that. But those draft picks are what we are going to use to fill out the rest of this team. As you can see, we have 51 players, so we will be able to draft a couple, even though we are under the or over the cap by 4.76 million. So that will be the next episode, but I do want to show you some of who is going where for these free agents, just to give you guys an update of what's going around the league, and then we will select our guys for the private workouts. As let's see, Lamar Jackson is still here, as no team has the money for him, I guess. So he is still in free agency. We'll go to league signings, as it does look a lot of the same. Elgton Jenkins goes to the Cardinals now, and that is what this free agency is looking like. I'll give it a little bit of a scroll just so you guys can see where some of the people are going. The Patriots and Jets are making a few signings, so I guess they are definitely trying to make it back into contention for the division. The Bills can't make that many signs, but for some reason they didn't simulate that well, so maybe this year they will. I'm very curious. Oh, I should check. Oh my god, I forgot to check if anyone went up in Superstar X Factor or Dev Trait. So let me check that. Tua stays in Superstar. Jalen Waddle stays a Superstar. Teron Armstead stays a Superstar. Anyone else get any Dev Trait upgrades? Maybe on the defense. Channing Tindall stays normal. As it looks like everything is the same, unless I'm missing something. It looks like everything is exactly the same for our defense, so no Dev Trait changes either. Just something I should probably check there. As we will do our private workouts, we will select the people who we want to do that with. I want to bring in Bijan Robinson for sure. I think it's important that we address a couple positions like tackle, so we'll bring in Logan Brown. Actually, let's go down the list a little bit just because our picks are way down the board. So let's go down the board a little bit. Let's bring Anton Harrison in from Oklahoma. And let's also bring in a left outside linebacker because we do need to replace Andrew Van Ginkel, who is off the team for sure. So we need a starter at left outside linebacker. So with that in mind, let's do Brenton Cox. He's from Florida, so we can keep him in the state. I'm from Canada, so Florida's a state, right? Or Florida's a state. I don't know. I'm from Canada. I don't know what it. I sound stupid as hell right now. But I'm from Canada, dude. I don't know anything about that. But we will scout those linebackers. So those will be the guys who we scout. The right tackle, the halfback, and the left outside linebacker. So those are the guys we are going to bring to our private workouts as we will simulate to free agency week 4. Again, not having any money, so this free agency is very, very boring. Just want to see where a guy like Lamar Jackson goes because he should be going somewhere. I hope the game doesn't just break and he's just sitting in free agency because that would be something Madden would do. Because a lot of teams would cut a bunch of people to try and get Lamar Jackson on their team. As Lamar Jackson just sitting here in free agency, that's so stupid. I hate when teams do that. So this is the issue with Madden, and this is not on me, this is on Madden. Because I gave players the correct contract, none of them have money to spend because basically the way I could do the contract is close to real life and I gave them the guaranteed money as they should. Also, the game is just stupid in terms of managing money and being able to edit contracts and restructure and convert stuff into salary because now, as you can see, Lamar Jackson is just sitting there in free agency, which is ridiculous, but it is what it is, I guess, as that is the free agency recap, and we will go right in to the mock draft as it does look like Bryce Young will be going first overall. We'll see who they have the Miami Dolphins taking here. Myles Murphy, the right end, and Zach Evans, the halfback, who we do have scouted, who is a elusive back, so he does fit the scheme. But we will be heading into the draft for next week, so we will actually sim to next week, as that will be next episode doing the draft. Let me just tell you what I think we need to address, because I think it's important that you guys know what I'm thinking about going in. I think we'll go with Skylar Thompson as our backup into next year. I think a halfback is not necessary this draft. It's definitely necessary next draft, but with re-signing Raheem Mostert and having Chase Edmonds, honestly, I think we're okay at the running back position for now, but it might be a thing where we draft one in the later rounds. Receiver-wise, I think we're perfect. I don't think we need any receivers. Offensive line, I would love to get a new right tackle just because I feel like even though the overalls are high with the morale boost, I still think like on the field play, I feel like our right tackles really struggled. So right tackle is definitely a position of need. Halfback maybe later in the draft. But other than that, our offense is in a very good shape, so I'm not looking for anything else on offense. Defensively, I think we definitely need a left outside linebacker. That is definitely integral that we get a left outside linebacker. Worst comes to worst, Sam Aguvon would actually find his way into the starting lineup, but that is not something I want to see, to be honest with you. So left outside linebackers are premium position to draft with one of our 2 first-round picks. Maybe we trade up for one of the left outside linebackers because I think it's important that we get an outside linebacker to put in this linebacker core to help them. Safety-wise, we're good. Cornerback-wise, honestly, we're looking pretty good. Maybe another corner to develop to replace Byron Jones next year. And then defensive line-wise, I think we're good. I think we need one backup. So those are the positions I am looking to address. And obviously, special teams, we will draft a punter as well. So those are kind of the positions I am looking at. But with that all being said, that is pretty much it for this video. I know it's a little bit of a lame episode, but it's just fair and seeing, making sure the league is correct and pushing everyone. Please go watch that Super Bowl episode. All of that being said, thank you for watching. See you next time.